Hello, everybody. This is Allen Devlin here with Atlanta News First. Happy Friday to you all. Happy beginning of your Memorial Day weekends, I'm sure. Hope you guys are having a great time out there today. Maybe even took the day off. 4 days worth of relaxation, maybe some grilling, maybe some water activities, whatever you want to do for your Memorial Day weekend. I appreciate you joining me here today. That's actually where I'm going to start with Memorial Day weekend travel, because it's going to be a incredibly busy time to move around the state, move around the country, whether you're doing it in the air, on the roads, in the water. Regardless, it is going to be incredibly chaotic, but organized chaos, the best type of chaos. So what we've got here right now at Hartsfield-Jackson is some record-setting TSA numbers, where TSA set a new record this morning, the busiest morning they've ever had at Hartsfield-Jackson, at 31,638 people passing through between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. That beats only the what was the record, actually, which was the day after the Super Bowl, where they had about 600 people less pass through TSA that following morning after the Super Bowl when it was held here in Atlanta. So you can get kind of an idea of just how many people passed through that airport today. But it wasn't just here in Atlanta that saw these crazy, chaotic travel numbers. It was the entire country. CBS News has more.
The sights of a summer travel season taking off. Jammed freeways and packed airports that could be even busier today.
I'm excited that it feels good to travel again after a few years of staying home.
Annette Richmond got to the Atlanta airport more than 3 hours before her flight, taking no chances with her big Memorial Day European cruise, even adding 3 extra days on the front and end of the trip in case of any travel disruptions.
Delays, mix up with flights, anything with the cruise. Luckily, my travel insurance will help me cover that.
The nation's airlines have been working for a year to get ahead of last summer's staffing issues that snarled flights for millions.
I think it's improved compared to a year ago, but the real test of that will be going into the summer.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is planning new regulations requiring airlines to compensate flyers for some lengthy delays, but is facing criticism for continuing air traffic control problems.
Last summer, you were very hard on the airlines about their staffing issues. A year later, ATC is still having its own staffing issues. Why hasn't that gotten fixed?
Well, look, we're going to own anything that's under our control. We're talking about 5% of the issue, and as long as that's more than zero, then we're going to continue growing the air traffic control workforce.
Tim Laleyem is just trying to take whatever the summer rush brings in stride.
Excited for some of it, dreading some of it, yeah. Airport's never fun, but destination is.
The TSA expects today will be its busiest day at airport checkpoints across the country. AAA is expecting the peak of peak rush hour for people starting their trip to be between 3 and 6 p.m. in most cities across the country. And things are going to stay busy through Wednesday as this 3-day weekend is increasingly becoming a 6-day summer starter. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Chicago.
Unmute myself so y'all can hear me. 6-day summer starter. Honestly, I wish I had a 6-day break to just take off, whether it be on a plane or whatever. I was actually just at the airport last weekend, flew in from New York, so I had a little bit of my unofficial start to the summer. But yeah, 2 million people passing through Hartsfield-Jackson this weekend by itself. 2 million people. They call it the world's busiest airport for a reason. The next story I want to talk to you guys about is more of an update than anything. One of our major stories this week we've been covering all week long, that Midtown crane failure we've been telling you about. So some bad news for the thousands of residents that have been displaced as a part of that failure. The weights fell off that crane, damaged the building below. I'm going to actually show you that video here. So take a look. You can see where those weights damaged the building, right there where we've highlighted. This is the Atlanta News First drone showing you that video over the building right across the bridge, actually, from where we are in Midtown on 10th Street, 10th and Spring Street. 1,000 people are not going to be able to get back into that apartment for at least another few days. So it's kind of been one of those things where the apartment building in cooperation with the construction companies kicking it down the road every couple of days, where they say, all right, we need a couple of more days. And then a couple more days come, and it becomes, all right, we need a couple more days, because now these people cannot get in until at least after Memorial Day weekend. So if they had plans or events or anything like that, they're still staying in hotels. Now, the good news is that the apartment complex and the construction company are refunding them their hotel fees, and a lot of the hotels in the area are actually working with them to just give them $99 room, which is really, really cheap if you know Atlanta hotel costs, so they'll be getting refunded for that. But honestly, even if you're getting refunded, I'd rather just be in my apartment than moving yourself out for what's going to be more than a week. We're going on 8-9 days when we get beyond this weekend. Memorial Day is Monday. They're saying the earliest will be Tuesday. And this crane failure happened on Monday. So we're looking at 8 days, maybe 9, maybe 10. Hopefully all of these people who have been in and out of this apartment complex getting their stuff, trying to, reinvent their lives elsewhere temporarily, will have some answers real soon. We've been in contact with the construction company, and they've said that they are doing their best, and this is a little bit of that statement there, they're doing their best to just check and make sure this crane is safe, the buildings are safe, and that they can deconstruct this crane as quickly as possible in order to allow everyone to get back into their apartment. I know that if I was displaced for 9-10 days, and I'm sure you guys would feel the same way, you'd be pretty angry, you'd be pretty upset that you're having to deal with this, because it was not in your control, and it definitely wasn't in your lease. So I would be pursuing to see if I can get some of my rent money back, honestly, because you're going on 25% of a rent payment right now where you couldn't even use your apartment. But wish the best of luck for them. Thankfully, nobody was killed in this incident. A couple of construction workers were sent to the hospital, but they were all accounted for. That's really what the good news is. This could have been way, way worse. This crane failure was not catastrophic. It was enough to, of course, damage the building below, but the entire crane itself stayed intact. Now it's about making sure it can be disassembled and then figuring out what went wrong, because the last thing you want for something like this to happen again. Last story I'm going to talk to you guys about before I let meteorologist Carter Martin come up here to tell you about your Memorial Day weekend forecast, because I know that's important for you all, is a little bit of, homegrown magic, Disney magic coming out of, I guess, under the ocean, I should say. Halle Bailey is starring in The Little Mermaid, Disney's live-action remake, premieres worldwide today. And so what you've got is Disney's second black princess taking the screen all over the country. Maybe you guys have some plans to go see the new Little Mermaid movie. I'm probably going to check it out. I don't know when. I'm not going to see it today. I'm at work, of course. But it's one of those things where you just got to see it, just to get your own opinion, just to enjoy it. These Disney remakes, in my opinion, usually hit or miss. This one seems like it's going to be pretty good. Now, I will say there was a lot of backlash up front, unfortunate racist backlash online when Disney first named Holly as the star, as Little Mermaid, because, historically in the cartoons, Little Mermaid is white. Here comes an African-American actress taking the role. There was some unfortunate pushback online, and that kind of took the headlines for a long time after Holly was first named as the star of the movie. Since then, the movie has taken on a life of its own where Little Mermaid fans, Disney fans around the world are coming together to really celebrate what is going to be a pretty incredible remake. But I'm speaking from someone who hasn't even seen the movie. So if you go out there and you see the movie, you see it tonight or this weekend, maybe that's one of your Memorial Day weekend plans, let me know how it was, because you can tell me if I need to go see it or not, because these Disney remakes, again, usually Disney's pretty good with the live-action remakes. But, Regal, AMC, wherever you see your movies, the movie is now available worldwide, and we'll give you an update on those box office numbers as we get through the weekend. Hopefully a lot of success for Holly and the entire Disney crew for that Little Mermaid movie, and Sebastian, and all the characters. You saw the crab in there. Sebastian is the fish, though, right? Cutter, Sebastian's the fish, right? What's the crab's name? Sebastian. Okay, so I was right. Sebastian is the crab. All right, so what's the fish's? Flounder. Flounder was the fish. So I was right. That would make sense. Sebastian is the crab. So you saw the crab, you saw Flounder in the movie. They're pretty cute. They're all fun cartoons. But enough of me rambling on about Little Mermaid. Let's jump into the weather, because that's really what you guys want to hear about. Cutter, when Patrick comes up, he's got me on Max 2. What are you operating on? Because it's not Max 2, is it?
Don't worry, buddy. I got that.
Okay, so Cutter knows how to work this stuff better than I do. He's going to come up, he's going to handle it, and talk to you guys a little bit about this weekend's weather, because apparently it's going to be, hit or miss, but for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah. It's not going to be a complete miss or anything like that. Actually looking pretty decent there. So we're tracking about rain possibly in the first alert forecast. And again, not looking like it's going to be too much of an issue for any daytime plans. But if you have Saturday evening dinner plans, specifically up on the far north side, if you're up in Lake Burton, Rebane County, the Clayton community, if you're going to fish and stay on, the Savannah River, as we get into Saturday evening through Sunday morning, it's those areas, that time frame that we're watching late Saturday, early Sunday for some potential rain impact. So just a heads up, there could be just a couple of issues out there during those times, but in general, looking like the majority, if you took all 72 hours of this long holiday weekend, the majority will be pretty decent, and in fact nice. This evening is absolutely stunning, so keep that in mind. No reason to get too bummed out about the forecast, no reason to cancel any plans, but just be aware that if you are up in the mountains, in particular east of Blue Ridge, you could encounter some rain. In fact, you probably will later Saturday evening into early Sunday morning. We're going to go ahead and hop over to the forecast now, show you what's moving on. Not too much, but technically a little bit of moisture up on the far north side. Once again, up into the mountains of far north Georgia, there is just a little bit of rain. So I don't want to say it's completely dry, though I would say the weather is still gorgeous. Overall, you can see just a couple of sprinkles now moving west and northwest of LOJ. LOJ proper, not really seeing that much, but you could see a sprinkle, Fannin, Gilmer counties or so over the next hour. These downpours, these sprinkles now were earlier downpours north of LJ, closer to Ivy Log. They have since weekend. Going to switch radar, though, to a different mode and expand the picture, taking you down all the way to the coast of Georgia and South Carolina. Area of low pressure, a coastal low, basically a nor'easter sitting down here and spinning away in the southwest Atlantic, and counterclockwise flow. We have a gusty northeast breeze along the coastline, and even a lighter but still noticeable north and northeast breeze here across North Georgia. And if you have any beach plans, this is the big impact. It's not local. It's going to be down across coastal Georgia, the Savannah area, Tybee Island, Fusky Island, Hilton Head Island, on up towards Folly Beach, Charleston, Myrtle Beach. Lots of rain on the way. Savannah and the Golden Isles of Georgia dry for now, but this rain shield, literally the shield, solid wall of rain, is going to gradually build up to about I-95 and the Savannah River area. So overnight tonight, we're dry here. The few showers we had earlier across the mountains of North Georgia, they are diminishing, they're falling apart. Dry tonight, certainly dry in metro Atlanta, in fact, mostly clear. And we're cooling back into the upper 60s by 11, low to mid-60s to 3 o'clock in the morning. That breeze may make it feel just a little bit cooler out there, but in general, a nice night. Stellar, stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever you want to call it, start to our Saturday, first full day of the long holiday weekend. Temperatures in the low to mid-60s inside the perimeter, out the door. I think really lower 60s at warmest. You get outside of I-285, outside of the perimeter, and we're talking 50s, could be 40s up in the mountains of North Georgia tomorrow morning before the clouds start to really roll in. So just keep that in mind. Kind of a cool start to our Saturday. In fact, here's a broad look here for you. Temperatures in the metro, notice 50s outside of the perimeter, closer to right around 60, just a degree or two cooler than we were this morning in the city of Atlanta proper, but Palmetto 54, 56 Sugar Hill, 53 down in McDonough. Expanding the view, upper 40s up in the mountains, so Blue Ridge, Helen, LJ, Ivy Log, Clayton community up in Rebane County, Clay County, North Carolina, cooler. But even, south and west sides, outside of the perimeter, outside of the heat island of Atlanta with all that pavement, temperatures back in the low to mid-50s. Brunchcast, if you are going out with mom, dad, friends, family, loved ones, whoever you're celebrating the holiday weekend with, brunch tomorrow looking pretty nice, actually. Not too big of an issue, really, at all. The only thing that, you'll notice is the breeze could be a little bit gusty, especially if you're eating Midtown, downtown Buckhead, between the buildings, blowing a little bit tomorrow morning. Mid-70s by noon. High temperatures as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Notice where it's warmest and sunniest. South and west side, Douglasville, Estelle, upper 70s, lots of sun. Notice how we cool it back into the mid-70s. Sandy Springs, Decatur, Atlanta. Alfred, a little cloudier. You get further north and west, sunnier. And Gwinnett, DeKalb counties, the east side will have the most cloud cover out of the metro, should say, tomorrow afternoon and early evening. In general, east of I-75, the further east you go, the cloudier it will be. Let's start tomorrow evening. Again, we're mostly dry. We are dry on this forecast model for the city of Atlanta. We're going to back up the clock here. There are the clouds trying to move in. Most of these are east. In fact, this model a little bit drier. This is a new run of the forecast model we were showing you on air. No big changes, though. Generally, Savannah River area, our easternmost counties, Habersham County, Clayton County, or Clayton Community, Rabun County, Clark Oconee counties, on towards the Toccoa Falls area. That's where rain will get kind of steady Saturday evening, but we're talking after sunset here. Lingering into early Sunday morning, but notice by 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we're drying it on out. You know, it'll be cool Sunday by late May standards with a breeze. There will be some clouds, maybe a spotty rain shower, but in general, a pretty decent Sunday. Not too many issues out there, not too concerned about any outdoor plans. May not be the summer weather you want, but it's certainly better than the weather we could have had if this area of low pressure had tracked a little bit off to the west, a little bit more to the west and southwest. 7-day forecast, there you have it. Coolest on the front end. We're up to 80, clearing out more sunshine. Memorial Day, low to mid-80s. Tuesday, Wednesday, mid to upper 80s. Thursday and next Friday afternoons. Mornings getting milder, a little muggier. Slight chance of kind of popcorn pop-up. Showers, a couple of thunderstorms in the forecast Thursday and especially Friday. So all that to say, don't cancel the plan. Some decent weather coming up, but there is that opportunity for rain. Northeast Georgia, upstate of South Carolina, Savannah River area down to Augusta, east of Atlanta. As we get into tomorrow, if we get anything in the city, it's going to be very light, very brief, not worthy of canceling or really being worried about for any of the plans. And then we're drying it out early Sunday morning, probably before you're even up and at them. So some decent weather on the way. Want to remind you, I'm back 9 o'clock on Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV. Same in the 10 o'clock hour. And then First Alert meteorologist Fred Campania is back on WANF. We'll have the latest forecast for you coming up then. And you can always get the forecast, even outside of news time, atlantanewsfirst.com, WANF, and the First Alert Weather app, Atlanta News First app. Again, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend. Enjoy it. Get outside. If you're worried about the weather, just bring along that First Alert Weather app just in case. But again, more dry time than rain coming up this holiday weekend. Have a wonderful evening.